Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where the Maharaja mania is running wild, brother.
No, it's not.
It's lost in the Midcard. Welcome to our, well, it's basically going to be our post show for Payback. We're gonna break down the Payback and also the Payback from the Payback and a few headlines and including Great Balls of Fire and Meth Fairies. Yes, there's a lot to talk about this week, but first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. Make sure that you search for Lost in the Midcard and hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, most Thursdays and most Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. We're also subscribable on that YouTube, and you can get the links to those on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. Those are in our notes section there, along with our YouTube videos and some extra goodies and stuff. And lots of goodies are shared on the Twitter as well, and you can follow that at LITMC Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers, and as always, my co-host on that Twitter at Raw F Showtime, it is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
I'm back, bitches.
Feeling better?
Oh, a lot better than last week.
That's good. That's good. That's good. And joining us, we got a three-man booth this week. And joining us, you heard him last week. You heard him this week. He is the commissioner of Black Diamond Wrestling. He is the proprietor of SpiderDuck.net at Trevor Oz. That is OSZ. It is Mr. Trevor Oz. Trevor, welcome back. How's it going, man?
Listen here, brother. When the Maharaja comes breaking down your door, he's gonna be the next WWE champion.
Shut up, you heel-turning son of a bitch.
And we'll film a Bollywood movie for everybody to enjoy.
Well, there was way too much Jinder Mahal love on this podcast last week. I'm back to hinder the Jinder love on Lost in the Midcard.
I can't wait until 10 years from now where we get Bollywood Mahal.
Matt, we'll have some fun talking SmackDown this week then, and Payback, and it's still 2-on-1 pro Jinder.
Jinder is everything.
I don't know. I talked to Seth Rollins earlier today, and he told me he wanted his gimmick back.
Yeah, but he hasn't called them security. They're not Bollywood security boys. So this happened a few days ago. The American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, where Monday Night Raw after Mania was last year, and of course the host of many Raws and SmackDowns over the course of time, sent out a promotional video hyping the return of Brock Lesnar. Not until July. Thanks, Brock. And then at the end of the video, a logo with the title WWE Great Balls of Fire. What in the actual fuck, guys?
Why, God, why?
What possesses Vincent Kennedy McMahon to name a pay-per-view, a pro wrestling pay-per-view, after a song from the 1950s? Anybody? Any good answers to this?
He's officially lost his fucking mind.
I mean,
well,
what?
You'd officially need some big grapefruits to name a pay-per-view that.
If you go to LITMC Podcast on the Twitter, you'll see a great promotional poster for the pay-per-view. Unfortunately, it's not the real one because Nakamura's on SmackDown, but it's got his balls on fire and a great facial reaction. I hope they use that as the promotional poster, just because. But, I mean, we've been saying for years that Vince has lost his mind. He's off his rocker. Time's passed him by. But, I mean, this has to officially take the cake. I mean,
I felt like this just confirmed it.
I mean, this
like anybody that was still on the side of no, he's fine. You're nuts. I feel like this was like the tip of the iceberg at this point.
I feel like somebody was in creative and just pitched this as a joke. Just like, haha, what if we called it Great Balls of Fire?
That's good, pal.
And Vince loved it.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Goodness gracious, pal. I can't wait for Michael Cole to pimp this. Oh, I can't wait for Michael Cole to... Great Balls of Fire! Oh, Jesus Christ.
If those announcers don't chuckle every time they say it, they're doing their jobs wrong.
I'm looking directly at Corey Graves every time Great Balls of Fire is mentioned, just to see his eyes roll in the back of his head. And it's a thing, because if you go to the WWE.com event section, there is the great My Balls Are on Fire logo, so... boy. Payback was Sunday. Gentlemen, what did Matt first? What did you think of Payback as a whole on Sunday evening here?
Based on the build of the show, it was better than it had any right to be.
Yeah.
I think the build of the show was historically one of the worst I've seen for a WWE pay-per-view in a very long time.
Especially the go-home main event.
But I felt like every single match, from top to bottom on the card, delivered in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
And I came out of that pay-per-view very happy. Like I was very I very much enjoyed that show, and I didn't think I was going to. So I would give Payback a thumbs up.
Trevor?
Yeah, I thought the show was really good. I was pretty surprised because, like Matt said, the build-up was a little lackluster. If you didn't know there was a pay-per-view, you probably didn't know there was a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I bet.
So it was actually a really good show, and you should probably go out of your way to see a replay.
Yeah, and I think some solid Raw and SmackDown followings after that, which we'll cover later. The ratings don't say that, as they hit rock bottom for 2017, but I think there were two solid shows. The show kicks off. Well, actually, we got the pre-show. Enzo and Cass defeated the club. No surprise. Typically, good guys get over on the pre-show to warm up the crowd. Balor beat up Miz on Miz TV, and then Jericho and Owens kicked off Payback, and as expected, a classic match. But Matt, a hell of a surprise seeing Y2J come out on top, huh?
To me, it wasn't a surprise.
Really?
Because
why do you think so?
The betting websites all weekend favored Jericho to win this match. So when he won, I was not surprised at all. It makes sense in a way. If for some reason WWE didn't want him on the Raw brand anymore, and they wanted to bolster up the SmackDown roster, they knew he was going on tour. Was starting this Friday with Fozzy for a month or more.
It's stretched out.
So they made the move to move him to SmackDown instead. So, I mean, I didn't have a problem with it at all. I knew as soon as he won it that he was dropping in on Tuesday.
Exactly.
I was just like, there's no... Chris Jericho isn't Brock Lesnar. He's not going to leave with this championship and keep it hostage while he's gone.
Yeah.
I knew he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and there are more dates that were added to the Fozzy Tour stretching out to at least June 24th, but the month of June is still kind of sparse, especially in the early parts of the month, so maybe you see him sneak back for a Money in the Bank say hello.
I think he'll be back. I think he'll be back in time to set up a program and a feud for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And they might end up doing
KO again.
Another KO and Jericho match.
Well,
I mean, who knows what their plans are right now.
After the way SmackDown went down, I'm perfectly fine with a KO and Jericho at SummerSlam again. I'm perfectly
They
fine
could
with it.
easily have Jericho return it Money in the Bank as a surprise to make sure Owens doesn't get the briefcase.
Yeah.
And that could give them, a match at SummerSlam. It doesn't have to be for the United States title. I mean, they could have Styles win that at Backlash.
Yeah.
It all depends on what they want to do right now. And it seems like they want to keep AJ out of the WWE title picture at the moment. So, I'd say putting the United States title on him is probably the best idea they can do. So the people who who cry out for him to get a push. At least he's wearing a championship at the time.
I gotta.
To be fair, I feel SmackDown has made the United States Championship more important than the WWE title over the course of the last 3 weeks. Anyway,
that's clear.
Definitely.
And I think just early prognostications. I'm putting AJ winning the Rumble. I think AJ is going to get his WrestleMania moment next year, winning the title at Mania. I think AJ is going to win the Rumble this year and then go on and defeat whoever's the champion at the time. I'm not sure who that would be or who that should be. Kevin Owens would be great. That'd be a good WrestleMania feud. But I mean, we got a lot of time down the road. But my early thoughts are that AJ is going to win the Royal Rumble here. Trevor, we both predicted Owens coming out on top here. What did you think when Jericho got it? Did you think, like Matt, it was just a slick way to put him on SmackDown going forward?
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I thought was going to happen. After he won, just like this is the way to get him on SmackDown. And then he's not really going to be here, so he's losing the belt on Tuesday.
And another kind of a surprise, but it continues the feud, which is perfectly fine with me. Cruiserweight Championship, Neville against Austin Aries. Aries was getting the last chancery onto Neville, but Neville pulled the referee down by the shirt, which caused the DQ, and Neville remains the Cruiserweight Champion. Matt, I was perfectly fine with this because this has been, to me, it's been a hell of a feud. Let's keep it going. I'm perfectly fine with it. What did you think on that Cruiserweight match?
I mean, a lot of people online hated the finish. And I understand that. I get why they hated it. It was really weak booking. They could have come up with something better and more creative.
Something with a little more pop.
They basically pulled out something that would have been done in the 70s for crying out loud.
Leg sucking dog.
So the reason why I'm okay with it is because at the end of the day, it kept Aries strong. It kept him in the title picture, and he's still gonna be the guy to beat Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Are you liking?
So I guess he's gonna win it at Extreme Rules.
Are you liking TJP in this new role?
Well, clearly he seems to be more comfortable as a heel than a babyface anyway, so I don't have a problem with it.
He's a way better heel than he is a face.
Yeah, I like the cockiness, and they are dropping TJ Perkins. They're just going straight up TJP now. All the announcers said it this week, and the Titantron.
Now they just need to sign DJZ, and it can be DJZ versus TJP.
No, Vince didn't just slam his fist down on the keyboard. It is DJZ versus TJP. Next up on the pay-per-view is a great tag match. Hardys against Sheamus and Cesaro. Jeff Hardy loses a tooth in this matter. I guess I'll mention it. Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer is calling for Sheamus to be fired, which I think is the most fucking dumb thing I've ever heard. I guarantee you he didn't call for AJ Styles to be fired when he knocked a tooth out of the Miz's mouth. And to his point, the Miz wasn't moving either. That was his point of comparing the Jinder Mahal concussion to what Sheamus did to Jeff Hardy. I think that's just completely fucking stupid. So just for the record there.
It's pro wrestling. Accidents happen.
Yeah, exactly.
They happen all the time. Sometimes you can't control it. It happens. Like it's not that big of a deal. So to that I say fuck Brian Alvarez.
And we called it on the show last week. Hardy Boys win, and then Sheamus and Cesaro turn full heel and attack the shit out of the Hardys. That pulling Jeff into the post while Sheamus delivering a brogue kick, that was a pretty badass move. Trevor, what were your thoughts on the tag title match here?
I thought they had a really good match. It was a really solid match. I mean, it looked like it could have gone either way. Mm-hmm. There's some really good camera work, especially when Jeff made the save there because you didn't see it coming, at least from the angle they were shooting it at. And they needed to turn those guys heel and to have Cesaro have a bit of an edge, I think that's might be what he's been missing for a little bit now.
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully that helps propel him up a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like to think it's probably Real Americans was the last time he was a heel. Before he started getting cheered, then they turned him babyface against Swagger. But I dig the black jackets they have now. One with the Swiss flag on it, one with the Irish flag on it. They do a little, I think, a little Boondock Saints pose too. I didn't think this tag team would last long, but I kind of glad that they did, because they're really gelling together. And clearly, I mean, if they're dressing them up the same, doing certain gimmicks or poses and stuff, I think they have a lengthy plan for them as a tag team, and honestly, I think this feud with these four guys is probably now my favorite feud in the WWE right now. Matt, what did you think of the tag match and said heel turn?
I thought the tag match was really good. I saw the heel turn coming from a mile away. You don't do the handshake.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing 2 weeks in a row on Raw,
yep,
and then do it again on the pay-per-view and not turn heel afterwards. I'm like, this is just, like, as soon as they started to walk away, I'm like, well, they're either turning heel now or they're turning heel on Raw tomorrow.
Yep.
And then they turned heel then. So, I mean, it wasn't surprising, but if that's what they need to push Cesaro to another level, I'm cool with it. Sheamus is starting to become the Big Show, the new era of Big Show, in the amount of times he turns from face to heel in his career. So he's got that going for him.
I would say that I don't think Sheamus ever really turned face this time.
Not fully.
Because he was I'd say he was more of a tweener, and he never really turned face.
Because he was still kind of a dick when Cesaro was the face.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he was at first.
Yeah.
And then they kind of turned it.
Well, they started to gel. They started to gel together as a team, but I mean, I still don't think they really turned Sheamus per se. But
yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know.
And I still don't.
Still, I think an overall attitude change for that team was probably needed, especially if they wanted to keep the feud going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, now they can be.
You couldn't lose to both singles matches and the tag match and continue the feud if they were still going to be baby faces.
Yeah.
And plus, this continues the slow storyline build to the Hardys becoming broken.
Yeah, because on Raw we saw Jeff do the delete gimmick for the first time in the WWE, which
in the WWE for the first time.
Oh, they had the camera right on him.
They pan to the crowd to show the crowd doing the delete chant.
Oh, I guess I
which
forgot
they've
that part.
never done. They have never done that before.
Yeah,
like when all the crowd was doing the hand swipe and chanting delete, they actually panned to the crowd to show it. They've never done that before, which says if WWE production is making you look at that,
yep,
that's the direction that they're going in.
Vince knows where the bread is buttered.
Yep. So yes, the broken brilliance of Matt Hardy and Brother Nero is most certainly coming to WWE. They're just building towards it, which I don't have a problem with at all.
No.
Because they need to reintroduce the gimmick to a brand new global audience, and they also need to probably tweak it a bit. It's probably not going to be the exact same thing that we saw in TNA, but it's going to be close enough. And they're going to be the New Day for WWE right now.
Plus,
the Hardys are going to in 2017. The Hardys are going to sell a shit ton of merchandise for the WWE throughout the rest of this calendar year.
Yeah, and plus, I want to see them tell a different story or their own story, or a different thing leading up to being broken. I want to see a different thing than what we saw in TNA. And you know what? I hope to God, just once on a Monday Night Raw during a Cruiserweight match, Matt comes out and goes, "Wonderful! Look at all the spot monkeys!"
Oh my.
That would be epic. Women's Raw Championship, Alexa Bliss Bayley. Props to Trevor for calling this. Props to Trevor for getting me to switch my pick to Alexa Bliss. And man, Alexa Bliss is a 3-time champion already. Matt, what did you think of the women's match?
A hometown babyface defending her title. As always, to me, is always a recipe for disaster. Yeah. I saw the title change coming. Didn't surprise me in the least, but I totally understand why they did it. And it's just another thing for Bayley to overcome, because I still see Bayley versus Sasha being the women's title match at SummerSlam in Brooklyn. They're gonna play out the fact that those two were in Brooklyn like 2 or 3 years earlier for NXT and stole the show, and they're gonna try to do it again on the main roster. But they've got months to get there, so that's why it's another slow build that I'm actually quite looking forward to seeing it all play out.
Yeah, and good job there, Trevor. What did you think of the ladies' match?
It was a really good match. It's probably one of Alexa's best matches since coming up to the roster.
I would agree with that.
It was just really good, and fuck, Alexa Bliss is awesome.
And how about bringing back the DDT as a finisher? Yeah,
it worked, especially in that situation where they had the thing where Bayley hit her head off the post.
Mm-hmm.
So it worked completely for that moment.
Exactly. House of Horrors is up next. A lot of people completely trashed it. I'm going to say this. I didn't hate it, but this did not belong on a pay-per-view. The boo, I don't even think the boos were because of the quality of what was going on. I thought what they did was good. I was fine with it. It didn't belong on a pay-per-view. It belonged on a Raw. Or SmackDown, whatever you want to put it on. But the crowd was booing because the action wasn't in front of them. But and then on top of that, the way WWE was building it up, like this looks like Jigsaw's massive Dungeon of Death from the Saw movies, and there wasn't really much horror to the house, and so that was another thing. But I think for what it was fine. Just did not belong on a pay-per-view. Matt, what were your thoughts on the House of Horrors?
It was exactly what I expected it to be. To be honest, it was hokey. It was corny. It was WWE at their ridiculous best. And I didn't have a lot of people online were shitting all over it, and I was just laughing because to me the entire thing was just laughable.
And, that refrigerator is more over than Roman Reigns now, by the way.
Oh, God. I'm so tired of all the refrigerator graphics. I'm looking at you, Marcho. It's just... It was exactly what I expected it to be. And I was surprised that it was very clear that so many other people expected something else. But when we're dealing with WWE and Vince... and this kind of stuff, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. So, I mean, I didn't have an issue with it. I thought the second half of it in the ring was a lot better.
Yeah.
Although extremely unbelievable at the fact that Orton got back to the building before Bray did.
Hey, Uber's awesome, man. Uber's awesome.
Hey, and the fact that Uber waved their...
Also, the fact that they freaking wrestled that damn house in like Richmond, Missouri or some shit.
Yeah, reports online. It was in Missouri last week was where they filmed that. Oh, plus it was dark. Yet they were in California where it was still daylight.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it is what it is.
Trevor, thoughts on the House of Horrors?
It was a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah, it happened. The fact of the matter was, I just didn't give a shit about it. There were no stakes in this match whatsoever. Once they took the WWE Championship out of it,
it guaranteed that Wyatt was winning.
Thank God, though. He needed a win.
Like, it telegraphed Wyatt, even though I wouldn't have been surprised if Orton had won. Like, not at all.
That would have been even worse.
Yeah, because WWE does stupid shit like that a lot when it comes to booking and stuff.
So, Trevor, what you're trying to say is thank God for Jinder Mahal, huh?
Yes. Don't hinder Jinder.
I will hinder Jinder.
He saved the day. in this match. He was the only bright spot in this entire match.
Long live the Maharaja.
I refuse to jump on the internet Jinder Mahal bandwagon because I guarantee you, the same people that are on this bandwagon right now are the same people that loved James Ellsworth last year, and now they all wish that the poor kid got fired. Duh. So, as far as I'm concerned, fuck you, internet, and your stupid
when Jinder Mahal wins the WWE Championship, when Jinder Mahal wins the WWE Championship and becomes the next JBL, don't say I didn't tell you.
The only way Jinder Mahal wins this championship is if back as a babyface to take it from him. Because Rusev's going to get a title shot at Money in the Bank. So, unless Rusev's coming back as a babyface, newsflash, everybody, Jinder Mahal's not winning the WWE Championship at Backlash.
I'm pretty sure we're going to have Handsome Rusev come in as a babyface. No, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Did you say Handsome Rusev or Dancing Rusev?
I said Handsome.
Oh. I thought we had a new gimmick there for me.
Why not both?
I mean, Lana is dancing.
Handsome dancing Rusev. Hey, yeah, you put the in the dancing with an I-N, so handsome dancing Rusev. I like it.
Just
trademark
have
that.
Rusev come in as his gimmick from, his country boy gimmick, his all-American country boy
from
regional Southpaw wrestling.
Southpaw.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
And we'll have a winner. It's him and Jinder Mahal. He's a country boy American trying to take out the foreign menace. I mean, these things just write themselves. Vince, I would like you to cut me a check, get me on the payroll. I'm ready to be hired.
We all need to be on the payroll.
What are you kidding? They'd fire us all in a week.
Yeah, we'd all be Joey Styles after a week because we'd be telling the truths.
We'd be in a creative meeting. We would tell Vince how stupid his ideas were. He would blow a gasket. We'd all lose our job. I mean, let's just be real here. The only people that get the only people that get to keep their jobs in WWE are the people who say yes to everything Vince says and kisses his ass on the creative team. If you have a mind of your own, you're not long for the WWE world. It's sad, but it's true.
Well, I guess I could be a yes man for the right price, but.
Exactly. See, I don't think I could stomach it.
I could stomach it, but I don't know if I could keep a straight face though at some of those meetings where great balls of fire are brought up. Probably my favorite match of the night: Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins. Nice epic 17-minute matchup with these guys. I was surprised at the win with Seth Rollins. I figured they'd make Samoa Joe a steamroller, undefeated, and take the title from whoever the next babyface competitor would be that a year from now, whenever Brock Lesnar decides to defend the belt. Some people had problems with the finish. I didn't have a problem with the finish. I thought it was solid. I thought it was decent. You don't have to win the same way every time. Matt, how did you feel about the finish with Rollins countering the Coquina clutch and flipping him over for a pinfall?
I was actually shocked by how many people hated this finish because I felt it was a completely fluke win for Seth Rollins. It kept Samoa Joe looking like a beast and a monster. Like, it didn't hurt him at all. Like, he dominated Seth Rollins. And Rollins got a quick, just a quick fluke win on him. I thought Joe looked great coming out of it. Rollins got the big baby face win, and I loved the match.
Me too.
As I said, I understood the annoyance that came from the cruiserweight finish, but I was baffled by how many people did not like the finish of Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins.
Trevor,
I couldn't believe it.
Trevor, what were your thoughts on the match?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good match. I'm with Matt. I thought the finish was great. It exactly everything Matt said would be all the points that I would bring up. So
I mean, they went for damn near 20 minutes. I mean, things like that are going to happen to Joe. Fluke things like that. If he's not careful enough, something like that can happen. It's not. Yeah,
and what would have people preferred? The finish was Seth Rollins is going to win. Would people have preferred Rollins hitting Joe with his stupid twirly knee finish?
You don't like that?
No, I don't like it at all. I don't think Seth executes it very well at all. I think Kenny Omega hits it a lot better than Seth does.
Well, good point.
I don't think it looks natural the way that Seth executes the move. So, I mean, would people rather Seth hit his finisher and beat Samoa Joe clean? I liked the finish because, to me, Joe taking a clean loss with the finish, which Seth's finish would have hurt Joe a lot more than that finish did.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people were looking at the long-term story that was trying to be told with the way that this finish was written.
Yeah, and WWE just does not book 100% hardly at all anymore, so, it was bound to happen. After that, Wyatt came out of the limousine selling his injuries from the week prior. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
And
I'm still hurt, man.
The beating of Jericho. I'm hurting it in, man. And Randy Orton with found an Uber that allows for him to enter the car shirtless, and he got to the arena, and
his wife picked him up.
Oddly enough, Orton was not selling his injuries, but oh well. The Singh brothers then come in. They're wearing some nice bright shirts and some slacks, and do a little beat down. And
don't forget that Orton had enough time to go get a little trim and stuff. So.
Oh, true. Trim isn't cocaine, or?
No, I mean just his
beard.
hair changed.
His beard. Yeah, he's right.
Oh, I thought he went to powder his nose. Okay. After Orton dispatches the Singh brothers, Sister Abigail is hit by Bray Wyatt, but oh no, out of nowhere, RKO. But then Jinder shows up and hits Orton with the title, and then hits Orton with the title again and leaves with the Singh brothers, and that allows Wyatt to hit Sister Abigail for the pinfall. There you go.
And how much I just want to say it right now, and I know we're diving into SmackDown. How much of a pussy is Randy Orton that he makes Shane McMahon get his title back and then doesn't even have the balls to show up on SmackDown to confront Jinder Mahal about it? I was just like, wow, that was terrible. They made Orton look like a bitch.
I literally just thought the same thing. I was literally going to bring up the same point of Randy Orton just being a bitch that can't go get his own title belt back.
Yeah. Why not have Orton beat the shit out of him while he's doing his little photo shoot,
Exactly.
Could easily did that.
I couldn't believe it.
Maybe Orton realized the refrigerator fell on him and he was out selling that.
I thought for sure he was going to come out and cost Mahal the match against Zayn.
Yeah.
Just to get a measure of revenge. You cost me on my match on Sunday. I'm going to cost you this match on Tuesday, and build the thing into Backlash. And no, let Shane get my title for me. I'm not even going to show up and say anything to the guy who cost me a pay-per-view match on Sunday.
Yeah, he was
the guy who I rivaled with for the last 8 to 10 months.
Yeah. Main event of Payback: Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns. Basically, this was Roman fighting an uphill battle as he's still selling the complete beatdown. His shoulder all taped up and all that from when he was tipped over in an ambulance. But for what it was, I thought it was a solid effort between these guys. I think we called it on the show last week that Reigns would basically be weakened and Strowman would overpower him and win, and that happened. And then we got a little after effect where Reigns is standing by the ambulance, and he actually gets the better of Strowman by sidestepping the charge. And Strowman,
I'm not finished with you!
That's the now famous line of Braun Strowman. And Strowman shoulder tackles the ambulance door, and then they say he hurt his shoulder, tore his shoulder or something, but it's kayfabe because he's on the European tour right now. So basically, they're going to kayfabe both injuries to sell the vicious beating they've been giving each other, and then cap it off in June at Extreme Rules, probably for the finale. Ambulance match, last man standing, somewhere around there. They'll probably do something with that at Extreme Rules.
It's got to be an ambulance match.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll probably finish the feud there. Trevor, what'd you think of the main event?
I thought it was really good. And whoever gives Roman Reigns shit, that motherfucker's sold like a motherfucker.
Oh, dude, Roman Reigns sells more than John Cena ever did.
Yeah, dude.
And I mean, that's something
Roman
a lot of
looked
people
real
don't
good
give
in that.
Roman Reigns credit for.
He did that all in one night compared to John Cena's career.
Look,
so
regardless of what people say about Roman Reigns has really good matches.
I
And
can't
he
remember
works
the
his
last
ass
time
off.
he had a bad match.
I can't either.
Which is really my main Roman Reigns argument against the people who say he's the new Cena. Like, I can show you a ton of bad Cena matches. Like, I can't remember the last time Roman Reigns had a bad match. You know, it's just, you know, well, I guess Roman Reigns and The Undertaker wasn't very good. But to be fair,
Well,
and
yeah,
I know
but
people are going to hate on me for this, that was more Undertaker than it was Roman.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and that's not. It's not even necessarily Undertaker's fault. He's old.
look at him. Look at him. He's too old.
Undertaker needed a slower pace match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it would have worked a lot better working in the ring with Cena, who can work at a slower pace. Roman doesn't work slow pace matches. Roman is a very fast paced wrestling guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, their styles just didn't mesh well. I think Taker's last match against Cena instead would have gone a lot better than the match with Reigns did. But I don't blame Reigns for that. I blame Vince and you know, and Taker, unfortunately, for the way that turned out.
Yeah, I just don't think Undertaker could do that kind of match anymore. It's, you know, and it sucks. It's just, but he's had a lot of injuries and stuff, and
the proof was
sometimes
the proof was when Roman tried to reverse that tombstone and Taker was dead weight. He couldn't help Roman execute the spot, you know, at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And so, anyways. So there is, it was announced that there will be a biopic from Vince McMahon, and apparently, according to Mike Johnson at PW Insider, there has been some leaks in the script, and the movie is going to start out in the 1970s, where Vince is already married to Linda, and she is working as a waitress in a strip club. And Vince goes to visit Linda at the strip club, finds out he's pregnant, tells Linda that their child is not going to have a mother working in a strip club. The strip club owner tries to stop them from leaving, and Vince beats the shit out of him. That's apparently how the first script of the movie starts. I'm already can't wait to see this if this is the truth.
Dude, everything you guys are hearing right now, especially Mike Johnson has stated this, and I 100% believe him. Yes, the script that as it sits right now is not going to be in any way, shape, or form the movie that we're going to see when this thing is finally done.
Yeah, they're way early in the process right now.
Yeah, and in the process of what they currently have is all stuff before WWE Studios got involved. As soon as Vince sees this script, he's going to fucking flip his wig. You know, it's not. This is not going to be the movie that people are going to see. It's not going to happen.
But it would be great.
I will say I do believe a lot of the movie will be Vince beating the government.
I honestly, I think the end of the movie, what they have for the end of the movie right now will be exactly what the same end of the movie is.
Yeah.
When Vince gets in the limo after beating the government and they tell him that he's their next great heel, I do believe that will be the ending of the movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think a lot of the other crap that they were talking about that's in that script right now is not going to see the light of day.
Agreed.
Yeah, and but it would have been funny though. But yes, WWE Studios is involved and going to be
humor, JB.
Yeah. So, anyways, Fozzy, as we mentioned earlier, Fozzy's got some dates in June. The tour starts on May 5th, which is this weekend, this Friday in Virginia. Then in June, they have 3 dates added, 2 in the UK, June 11th and June 13th, and 1 in Seattle on June 24th. I believe Money in the Bank. I can't win it. I don't know when Money in the Bank is off the top of my head.
I don't either. I think it's late June. It's Battleground. I believe Battleground's in July. So
June 18th is Money in the Bank, And so, well, there's room. So Jericho could possibly be at Money in the Bank because they perform in the UK on the 13th, 5 days before, and their next scheduled one is the 24th. So there's a possibility.
Yeah, I think if he's at Money in the Bank, it'll be as a surprise. I don't think he'll be advertised.
Yeah.
But we'll wait and see what happens. Have you listened to his new single?
Yes.
The new Fosse single, Judas.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty good.
It is. I think. I think "Do You Want to Start a War?" Their last album was probably their best one.
I disagree with that. I thought the Chasing the Grail was their best album.
Yeah, that was a good one too. I don't know. I just liked what they did, how they put that together. I just liked the last one the most. But yeah, that album yet to be announced. I think the single itself was just released by Loudwire yesterday, I think.
Yeah, they just put the music video out Tuesday morning.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's out on iTunes or Spotify just yet. So, but it may be by now, by the time you listen to it. So,
it comes out
take a listen.
Friday, if I remember right.
2 NXT talents released. They're names you'll probably never have heard of. Maybe one you might have. But Theo, Phyllis Agby, and Chris Adkins. Those guys have been released. Chris Adkins only made television, I think, once or twice. Latest one, jobbing to Eric Young. So a couple of guys there that we've not really heard of that they got the walking papers from NXT. Rebby Hardy.
Well, they got to make room for Donovan Dijak and Leo Rush and Adam Cole and
Payback.
All those other guys that they're going to be bringing in over the next several months. So
Yep. Rebby Hardy took to Twitter and about the rumor that the Broken Hardy gimmick, WWE has bought the rights to it. She said, "No, absolutely none. The fact that there's even such a rumor is a joke." You think Rebby's telling the truth here, or that's just code for yep?
No, she's absolutely telling the truth because I believe that the Hardys know that they have their court case against TNA won. They have WWE's money as backing to take these guys to court, and if TNA wants to take them to court, I think TNA is going to lose. I believe WWE has seen the language in the Hardys' contracts. I believe WWE has told them that you guys are in the right. You guys have the rights to this stuff. Because if WWE didn't believe they had the rights to this stuff, they wouldn't be allowing them to do it on their own television. So I think it's just a case of if Myth TNA is dumb enough to take the Hardy Boys to court, they're going to lose, and they're going to lose badly.
And it was reported on that a few weeks ago, which actually...
I'll be right back, guys.
Which was the spot that appeared on NXT tonight. Ember Moon injured herself on a dive during an episode of NXT. I wonder if that's... Trevor, I wonder if that's the spot where Asuka threw her out of the ring, which, holy shit, was that a bump tonight.
Yeah, there's no doubt that was the spot.
Woo! Mike Johnson said this was at the time a few days ago that no indication if the injury was legitimate or not, but man, that looked pretty nasty, though, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I wouldn't be surprised if it was legitimate, but the fact that she was only in a slant, I'm guessing it wasn't serious. I'm guessing it's something that'll heal within the couple weeks, because, this was taped a couple weeks ago, so
yeah.
By the time Chicago, TakeOver Chicago's around, I think she'll be fine.
Yeah, and it was announced that a Fatal 4-Way for the women's match. We'll get into that when we cover NXT a little later. Brand new table for 3 has been added, and it features T-Mac, Kurt Angle, Edge, and Christian. I watched it this afternoon. I thought it was great. There's not a bad table for 3. Those are good shows. So go check that out for sure, as that just came out, I believe, after Raw on Monday. And the Hardys just finished up their final independent appearance, and they wrestled in Bristol, Tennessee for Pro Wrestling South on the 29th. So they are now done with all their independent dates and will completely focus on the WWE. Chris Jericho, as we had just said, took to Twitter to announce that the new single Judas by Fozzy is out, and also Triple H tweeted that it is the official theme song for NXT TakeOver Chicago, which is pretty cool. So some additional information there. Juice Robinson, the former CJ Parker from NXT, has been getting a very sizable push in New Japan lately, and recently at the Toyonoki, let me try that again, Toyonounki wrestling event for New Japan. He fought in the main event against Naito. Sorry, I said Naito again, Trevor.
God damn it.
He's facing the trade organization. Naito and Juice for the Intercontinental Championship, but Juice came up short, and it looks like Naito's next challenger will be Tanahashi at Dominion for the Intercontinental title. Some interesting stuff happened this week with Sean Waltman. Everybody was asking about some issues with Sean Waltman, and Kevin Undergaro from the Tomorrow Show said that he spoke to X-Pac, said he's dealing with some issues, but he's okay. He'll speak soon. And not more than a couple of days later, it was announced that Waltman was arrested trying to board an airplane for the UK from LAX, and it turns out it is being rumored that they found meth on Sean Waltman and was intending to distribute it, and so they arrested him, but he's been released. And Sean talked to TMZ earlier this week about the incident, and he says that he claimed that he does not have crystal meth pills. They're pills to treat a yeast infection. Hello. And he insisted he's not using or dealing drugs. He's been sober for a little while now, and says he's still on that path, and says the truth will come out in some time. They're obviously lab testing the pills that he had on him, and to see whether or not they're going to charge Waltman or not. But a crazy week for Sean Waltman. I mean, Kevin Nash came out and said it himself that he knows that Waltman seems to be clean and sober. I wouldn't think he'd be bullshitting us. So, do you think this is just kind of a misunderstanding, and Waltman ends up getting clear to this?
I mean, honestly, I hope it is, because it would suck. It sucks to hear that he might not be clean and sober, or even if he's doing other nefarious things with drugs. It really would, but I mean, it just seems like so suspicious. I don't know. I think I'll just take the wait and see approach and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll find out soon on what happens there.
I'm back.
Hey, what's up?
What up, people?
Billy Corgan has
fairies.
Yeah, we were talking about the meth fairies.
Oh God!
I was saying.
I really want to take Waltman at his word, man.
Yeah,
it's so hard right now.
Well,
I really hope it's tested and it comes back that everything he's saying is true. Yeah. I'll be so happy to know that he's not, falling back on those times, man.
I was telling Trevor, I go, Kevin Nash came out and said that Waltman's is okay. And not, doing anything like that. So I don't think Nash would BS us on.
Yeah, but how would Nash know for sure?
No.
You know what I mean?
He probably sees him on a regular basis, don't you think?
Yeah, but I mean, you could be doing that behind your friend's back.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true.
Well, I don't think Nash would. I would surely believe Nash isn't lying for him, and that Nash believes that's legitimate. And I hope it is. That's my main hope. That's what's going on. But well, I mean, we all know. So
yeah, once the testing comes back on.
Yeah, I mean, how long can that testing possibly take? You think that should be a quick turnaround?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Who knows if it's on the priority of the of LA County?
I don't know. It seems like a pretty serious offense if what they're charging him with. So I think that, to me, that would be a high priority.
Mike Johnson of PW Insider has exclusively announced that former TNA Wrestling president Billy Corgan has agreed in principle to purchase the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. Basically, back in the day, it was one of the biggest territories in the land, formed in the 40s, exploded in the 80s when it took over with Jim Crockett Promotions before they became WCW. TNA added the NWA title in its early days as well. Still a lot of questions remain on what Corgan intends to do with the promotion, what he intends to do with the on-demand video service, and all of that. Matt, do you think Corgan's trying to get back into the wrestling game and try to build a national promotion on an established name of the past, or what do you think Corgan's doing here?
Well, clearly Corgan wants to get back into the wrestling game. He's not bringing Dave Lagana along for the ride, if that's not his intention. But here's the deal, and this is the same thing I've told everybody since the day that this was announced. Without a TV deal, this means precisely dick. So what? You bought the NWA, and then in the last time the NWA was slightly relevant, they were infused with TNA in the first couple years of its company. So if Billy Corgan has a TV deal lined up, like let's say he was negotiating when he thought he was going to take over Impact Wrestling, and he was negotiating with TV networks to get off Pop and actually get a television deal where he was going to have actual revenue coming in instead of just splitting the ad fees with Pop TV, and he has a TV slot lined up for the NWA. This immediately becomes a big deal. However, if he doesn't have a TV deal, this doesn't mean anything until this product can be on television. And I don't want to hear Roku. I don't want to hear YouTube. I don't want to hear any of that. Like, for this to matter, they need to secure a national television deal. And without that, to me, this story means absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Trevor, what are your thoughts on Corgan purchasing the NWA? Do you think he's got enough clout to eventually land a TV deal?
I don't know if I necessarily agree that they need a TV deal. I think they need some sort of deal, whether it's with like a new up and coming streaming service or whether it's with like
spots
or like YouTube Red or something like that. I think that could work as long as it's a deal with somebody to produce content for money. I think that could work. I mean, in this day and age,
can you name me a show exclusively on your YouTube Red right now?
That PewDiePie Scare show.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I'm a subscriber.
I'm just saying,
YouTube
I'm
Red
just
by
saying,
default, and I don't even know.
Yeah, but then again, you're of an age where that doesn't matter. I mean, you're kind of aged out of the demographic for that. If you want a younger generation to give a shit about any of it, and that's where you're going to get a lot of your money. You're going to get money from lapsed fans that like the NWA name, but you're also going to want to try to bring in new people that maybe aren't into wrestling or are just younger and might get into it with a platform like YouTube, because YouTube's so big right now.
To me, to buy the National Wrestling Alliance is an absolute demographic of targeting the older lapsed fan that has left current pro wrestling behind. I don't think they have any envision on going after the younger audience that WWE seeks right now.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I just don't know what Corgan wants to do with it. So
like they need to me personally, I feel they need a national TV deal.
But I mean, just look at look at other companies that do have national TV deals that don't really do much on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean a national TV deal on a channel that matters.
Yeah, and that's going to be hard. I don't foresee that happening.
Well, you never. Who knows?
Unless it's like an MTV because it's Billy Corgan.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think everybody underestimates how much power Billy Corgan probably still wields in the entertainment industry.
He was on good speaking terms with Pop TV, and their president, and so I mean that relationship was definitely going to continue if he took over TNA. So,
but who knows if he was already looking for their next home?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think Pop TV would be the place to go. Obviously, it doesn't do anything for TNA.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like
dropped like a rock this week. Yeah.
They need something along the lines of like an FX, or a Spike TV, or something along those lines.
Yeah,
is what they're going to need to acquire to actually make any type of imprint on the industry immediately. And the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of talented people out there right now that's available to sign immediately, and two, there's a lot of people at Impact that
would jump
that are like, if this is, Corgan's gonna go run the NWA, when is my contract up? Yep. So they have the chance to put together actually a really good roster. And I'm telling WWE, I'm telling you right now, I know you're dicking around with O'Reilly, Dijak, Leo Rush, Adam Cole, the whole I want to wait till 90 days after their ROH contracts are for them to expire. If this happens and they do have a TV deal, you need to sign those 4 guys now, because if you don't, Corgan will. So be very careful just letting those guys linger on the market right now, because it could come back to bite you guys in the ass.
Well, I partially agree with you there, but at the same time, if these 4 guys have any illusions that they're going to get a WWE deal, they might, they're probably going to try to
that's why they all left.
Right,
but who knows what type of money Corgan's working with.
That's true. I think it all comes down to what kind of money he's willing to bring to the table. So,
and I would have to imagine if he's willing to put all his money into this, even after he was burned by TNA, I have to feel like he's willing to like put a lot of money into this to make this work.
Well, he's the judge. He's the judge, jury, and executioner now.
Like I said, get him a TV deal. I'll officially be very excited.
Well, Spike TV is they went out of the wrestling business, but they are getting rebranded, so there is maybe a potential that they're interested in bringing another wrestling promotion back to the whatever new brand network. I can't remember what they're going to call it, but
Paramount Television or something along those lines.
Speaking of those contracts, May 1st, and Adam Cole, baby, his Ring of Honor contract officially expired at midnight, and it is unknown if he will appear further or on a per diem basis for Ring of Honor going forward, but he is now officially a free agent and can sign anywhere without any restrictions. Come on over to NXT, baby.
I think we see him sitting in the crowd at NXT Brooklyn.
That would be epic.
That's what I think. That's when I think we see him. I think the first time we see him is sitting front row before the main event of Rude and Drew at NXT Brooklyn.
Some of the further details by Mike Johnson that he gave yesterday on the sale of the NWA. Mike has confirmed there are no tape libraries involved in the purchase. The on-demand streaming website is not involved. Corgan is not buying any footage. We are told that the plan, once Corgan and NWA finalize the sale and Corgan owns the assets, Corgan is going to evaluate and assess the brand and build a plan going forward. We are told this is not a stipulation where Corgan will buy the brand and the next day start making big moves. This is the first in many steps. As Matt said, Dave Lagana is on board. So there you go.
Rumors Matt Conway is going to be on board as well.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's the rumor at the moment. Seriously, he's taken his team from when he left Impact and he's taken them with him. I mean, it's clear he's got a plan here.
Yep.
And I completely understand that the man doesn't want to show his cards right now.
Well, they haven't even finalized the sale yet, so.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if he can get a TV deal, this is something to be excited about. If he can't, this is much ado about nothing.
Yeah. Ratings time, Total Divas slips down to 566,000, down about 23,000 from the week before, but still more numbers, almost double than TNA. I'd like to point that out.
It's a better show.
TNA dropped like a rock this week, down 70 or 65,000. They dropped from 320,000 to 255,000. So yes, Total Divas had more than twice the numbers of.
I guarantee I know why they dropped.
Because Total Divas is a better show.
No, I know. I went to watch Impact on DVR like I normally do, because I normally skip through it on DVR after it airs. And within the first 2 minutes of the show, they bring Josh Matthews out with a lawyer and suspend JB and put Matthews back in the booth. And I'm like, I'm done. And I turned it off and deleted it. I'm like, I'm not even watching this episode. I can't sit through 2 hours of Josh Matthews anymore. And I think a lot of people said the same thing, and 2 minutes in just clicked and turned it off. And there's where your 55,000 people went.
And we talked about this last week. They're trying to sell us to buy a Slammiversary pay-per-view with Scott Steiner.
Yeah, Scott Steiner and Josh Matthews against Jeremy Borash, Joseph Park.
I've got more mobility in the ring than Scott Steiner does.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
I don't think that's true at all.
I don't believe that at all.
I do.
You're just lying out of your ass at this point.
I mean,
say that to Scott's face.
He'd be like,
"I'm
gonna kick your ass!"
Go to his Shoney's restaurant and say that to his face. Go to his restaurant, order some food, ask to see the manager, and tell him that you're more mobile in the ring than him, and see what happens.
I will, damn it.
Uh-huh.
Raw and SmackDown posted their lowest numbers of the year as well. Raw 2.87 million. They barely broke 3 million in hour 2. The first and third hours did not break the mark. SmackDown Live also suffered its worst numbers in a long time. 2.3 million, losing nearly 200,000 viewers.
It's that time of year. The WrestleMania audience is leaving. The NBA and the NHL playoffs are on. A lot of the big shows throughout the season are running their final 3 or 4 episodes before the season finales, and they go on summer break. It's a rough month and a half for WWE, but I would expect the audience to start ticking upwards again towards as they approach SummerSlam. The thing they need to keep in mind is stay the course. Do not take what you did on Raw this Monday as the reason why your ratings fell. I thought Raw was good this week. Yeah. I thought Raw was good last week too.
Well, I thought SmackDown was solid too.
Don't change the formula just because your ratings are falling. It has nothing to do with that. You have to make your product must see. And right now, like, Vince wants to claim that the WWE is DVR proof. But at the end of the day, it's really not.
Not when you're champion
exactly.
Still 2 months out.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what it is. People just need people. I think people worry way too much about ratings in 2017. I really and truly do.
There's a lot of cord cutting. I mean, ESPN just hacked a lot of big names. It's because $7.50 every single month. $7.50 of your cable bill goes to ESPN. A lot of people are cutting that cord, so that means ESPN's not getting that $7.50 from said person cutting the cord, and so they had to cut the cord on a lot of major names.
Yeah, I believe in 2017 that the Nelson TV ratings as they are presented to us right now are absolutely broken. Yes, I knew you were going to go there. But I wasn't trying to make a pun or a joke. I believe that the technology and the method of measuring this stuff is extremely dated, and I believe it needs to change. And I also just believe if it's not going to change, I think people really need to stop focusing so much on what the ratings are, and just enjoy on TV what you want to enjoy.
But it's fun. It's fun to make fun of Impact.
Well, it's always fun to make fun of Impact, but they do enough they do enough things for us to make fun of Impact without having to make fun of their ratings. I mean, their product makes fun of itself.
That's Scott Steiner and can there be any more of a hated duo than Scott Steiner and actually I don't hate Scott Steiner, but
I was going to say, where's he on Big Papa Pump?
Well, he's with Josh Matthews now, so I gotta hate him.
He's no longer your hookup.
Holla if you hear me.
He's my show hookup.
Competitors for the Best of the Super Juniors 2017 have been announced. And in Block A, we have Jushin Thunder Liger, Dragon Lee, Will Ospreay, Marty Scurll, Takahashi, Taichi, Taka Michinoku, and Ricochet.
Trevor, who still wrestling.
Remember that?
I'm sorry, Trevor. I just had to. It blows my mind that little dude's still working.
What was that horrible bump he took at one time? That there's a great GIF of it. He just gets thrown out of the ring, or like might have been a base. They just got tossed, slid out there, and landed on his head. Oh, it's brutal. I can't remember who threw him. If it was Hardcore Holly or it might have been Lesnar back then. I don't know. I can't remember. Ooh, it's brutal. Of that Block A, Trevor, we got Liger, Dragon Lee, Ospreay, Scurll, Takahashi, Taichi, Michinoku, and Ricochet. Who do you like out of that A block?
I'd say probably Ospreay or Ricochet.
Yeah, I wonder if Scurll's getting kind of a little more momentum. I mean, he's held that television title. He's held that television title for a long time. In Block B, we got Kushida, ACH. God, I miss him on Ring of Honor. Taguchi, Kanemaru, Bushi, El Desperado, Tiger Mask 4, and Volador Jr. Trevor, who do you like in that B block?
That one's a bit tougher.
Kushida's been successful in the Super Juniors lately.
I would say probably Kushida will make it pretty.
Who does ACH really wrestle for nowadays? Just Evolve. Here and there, everywhere.
He's in Evolve.
Evolve, yeah.
Oh, he's in Evolve. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's where all the WWE holding talent is right now.
Yeah.
Everybody that Triple H wants to sign for NXT, but they're waiting the 90 days, they're all there. Kyle O'Reilly's there. Donovan Dijak's there. Leo Rush is there.
Drew was there.
ACH is there. Drew was there. I mean, literally, Triple H is just like, hey, Gabe.
Hey, Gabe.
Let me tell you, if they're not looking to sign Keith Lee, they're fucking crazy.
Oh, Keith Lee's amazing.
Like, holy!
I gotta meet that dude in Dallas last year. Him and Shane Taylor. They were like the dark match of Supercard Honor. I can't even remember who they took on, but we're like, damn, these big dudes are awesome.
I wish they'd signed some of these guys before NXT comes back to Baltimore next month.
I didn't realize Trips was targeted ACH. That's awesome.
I haven't heard ACH, but I wouldn't be surprised if they want to bring him in.
He's good.
You know, I feel like he has all the talent in the world, and the fact that he's working Evolve right now and he's not under he's no longer with Ring of Honor and he's not like jumping on the TNA or anything says to me that he might be one of those guys that WWE is currently looking at.
WWE has announced that WWE Studios will bring together the dynamic duo of Shawn Michaels and Willie Nelson for Pure Country, Pure Heart. I can't not wait, fellas.
The duo we knew we needed.
This will be a rootin' tootin' good time, I'll tell you what.
Oh my god.
So excited.
I mean, come on. Shawn Michaels and Willie Nelson in a cowboy movie. Ain't gonna get better than that, partner.
Hell yeah.
We all know you are patiently waiting for the pre-sale code to Great Balls of Fire in Dallas, Texas, and if you use WWE Raw, you can say you were at the Great Balls of Fire.
I thought it would have just been giant balls. Would have been
Goodness gracious, Matt.
That would be how Matt Hardy would say it. How would Broken Matt call that pay-per-view? The fiery testicles of greatness.
The fire that is great balls. The fire of great balls.
All right, here's the part of the show.
Flame.
it was the part of the show where Matt can step back since he missed NXT this week. But Trevor is in the
bad.
house. It's all right. You
Just
got
like
hockey.
Corey, Trevor is in the house.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to pretend like I didn't hear that.
2.5 years of the show on the air and our first Disney Channel show joke.
Oh, yeah. Best Nintendo DS game.
Oh, no, The Bachelor.
Oh my God.
Nah,
That's the
bro.
best.
It's not Corey
That's
in the
the-
house.
Killian Dane killed Danny Burch to open up NXT with his Ulster Plantation move. That move is badass. Excellent, Matt. When you watch NXT, get prepared for an excellent hype video for the Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark.
Oh, my.
It was glorious. One of my favorite new tag teams, Heavy Machinery. They took on a couple of jobbers.
Heavy Machinery is fucking great.
I love them.
Like-
I've said that from day one, man. It's fun to watch in the ring.
Yeah, dude, I really can't wait to see when they're actually given a chance to face some bigger teams and stuff. It's going to be fun.
Well, they did take the microphone after the jobber squashing, and Otis got a stakes and weights chant going, which was great. I hope that's on a T-shirt. And
Where's the I'm not finished with you Braun Strowman t-shirt?
Yeah, that's another one we need.
Like, that should have been made like 3 weeks ago.
I thought Tucker and Otis I think this is basically their first in-ring promo. I thought it was good. I mean, hell, Dozovich got a stakes and weights chant. So,
And you know his
That's
last name is Dozovich because he's like a bulldozer.
I love their finishing move too. And this time they did it with, well, I mean, obviously both jobbers combined made up one cruiserweight, but that was pretty cool seeing their little double team finisher on while Dozovich is holding up both guys at the same time. So yeah, they called out the Authors of Pain. They said that they are not afraid of them and want to face them.
This is the best construction-based tag team gimmick I've seen since the Bulldozer.
Every time they come onto my TV on NXT, Trevor, I say it's time to fire up the backhoe. I think that's Tom Phillips needs to steal that line from me. Every time the beeping happens and we got the Heavy Machinery, it's time to fire up the backhoe.
JB, I think you need to stick to podcasting.
Nah, come on, you stupid idiot! Kona Reeves is backstage chatting it up with Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode probably giving him some advice as Kona takes on Hideo Itami later on in the show.
So I do have a serious question for you, JB.
Yes, sir.
Who was better, Kona Reeves or Kona Crush?
Kona Crush was pretty devastating.
I agree. It is Kona Crush. That's the right answer.
He had a hell of a match with Macho Man back in the day too. One of those backstage brawls at I can't remember what pay-per-view
It was WrestleMania 10.
There you go. Good
It
callback.
certainly was.
Kayla Braxton asked DIY what they thought of Heavy Machinery's promo, and they gave a pretty funny little hilarious little promo as they always do. Kona Reeves against Hideo Itami. Kona Reeves comes out and attacks Hideo before the bell. Obviously, Bobby Roode probably told him to do that, but eventually Hideo gets the one-uppins on Kona Reeves and hits the GTS on him. They showed a hype video for Drew McIntyre, and then part 2 of Roderick Strong, getting to know Roderick Strong. This time it focused on his relationship with his fiancee Marina Shafir and getting ready to be a father, and how that wants to make him how he wants to be a better person because of that. And he also talked his journey from becoming in the Indies to becoming Mr. ROH. And again, Trevor, just like last week, amazing footage there for Roddy Strong.
I agree.
Regal is in his office watching the Roddy Strong promo, and Rude is in there too, but he's not paying attention. And Rude says he wants to talk to Regal about who his next challenger is. And Rude says Atami is taking the money out of both of their pockets if he runs around GTSing people. And he thinks Hideo needs to earn his title shot. And Regal's like, you're right, Sunshine. He will earn his title shot as next week a number 1 contenders match with Hideo Itami against Roderick Strong. Epic. And at the end of the segment, Roddy comes in and has a little stare down with Bobby Roode. They did a little hype video for Aleister Black to let you know he's wrestling next week. And then we got ourselves a 15-woman over-the-top Royal Battle Royal for the number 1 contendership for Asuka's NXT Women's Championship. Bunch of jobbers and even names we've never heard of were in the match. Victoria Gonzalez, Bianca Blair, they were eliminated. Rachel Evers, we've seen her job a couple of times. She got eliminated.
Well, and here's a fun fact. Rachel Evers is actually Rachel Ellering.
Yep.
But she took the last name Evers because that's Lance Storm's real last name, and that was her trainer.
If I could be serious for one moment. Another girl I never heard of, Sarah Bridges. She got tossed out by Liv Morgan. Then Sonya Deville got tossed out by Peyton Royce. Kimberly, we saw her debut not too long ago. She got tossed out by Ruby Riott. The iconic duo of Billie Kay and Peyton Royce eliminated Candice LeRae to the dismay of the crowd. They were booing at that one. Aaliyah got eliminated by Nikki Cross, and the crowd started... Hey, Matt, you'll love this. The crowd started chanting, "Thank you, Nikki." So the crowd is on your side with Aaliyah there.
Aaliyah's gotten a lot better. That's all I'm going to say.
She sucks.
She's gotten a lot better in the ring.
Hey, why don't you shut up, Matt? Don't make me come over there.
Accept her
I just speak the truth, that's all.
He thinks he took Mandy Leone's spot, so he'll never accept her.
I mean, I don't disagree with him there, but...
Yeah. Nikki Cross also knocked out Liv Morgan, so we were down. And Ember Moon eliminates both Billie Kay and then Peyton Royce. So we are down to Nikki Cross, Ember Moon, and Ruby Riott. And then all of a sudden, Asuka comes out and cleans fucking house. And Ember Moon, oh man, what a bump she took. We talked about that earlier on her injury, but woo, that was a nasty bump.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But Asuka cleans house, which brings out a pissed off William Regal to announce a Fatal 4-Way in Chicago.
Hopefully Ember Moon can compete.
Yeah, we don't. Mike Johnson said at the time does not know if it's real or kayfabe, but when you watch it, man, you'll know when
it definitely seems like it's real, but I'm guessing it wasn't anything too serious, or I wouldn't think so. At least if it was,
she had a picture taken with Natty and Make-A-Wish kid with a sling on the other day at the.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's something, but I'm thinking it's something because that was taped a couple weeks ago too. I'm thinking it's something that'll be healed by the time that Takeover comes around.
Yeah, I hope so. I think it'd be really disappointing for her to miss out on that.
Yeah, me too. It's cool to see Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott get into that picture. I think Ruby Riott is really. She's really garnered the NXT Universe's favor. I think she probably got the biggest pop of those girls. I think she's probably positioned herself as possibly the second babyface behind Ember Moon. Maybe eventually, pun here, eclipses Ember Moon as the top babyface for the women eventually.
I would argue she already has.
Good point. With all that aside, early 2-week early prediction. Do you think Asuka finally loses the title here, or do you think she holds it and continues this heel rampage?
I think she is going to keep the streak alive. I don't think she's going to lose it in a Fatal 4-Way. I really don't. I think it's going to come down to somebody actually beating her.
And that'll do a lot more for that person beating her than someone winning a Fatal 4-Way.
Absolutely, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And I think it's going to be at SummerSlam.
And plus,
the takeover before SummerSlam.
Yeah, and
to me, I don't see Asuka ever losing on the NXT brand.
Really,
I feel her first loss will be on the main roster. I would not be surprised if they take the title off of her in Chicago without her losing it. You know, I mean, granted, I mean that counts as a loss, but I don't think she'll be the one to take it.
Do you think she like shows up at SummerSlam and causes some hell? If they do that,
they could. They could put her. They could move her to. Dude, I'm telling you, Charlotte versus Asuka at SummerSlam would be fucking balls to the wall, man.
And we know Lana's coming to SmackDown eventually, but that roster does need a little bolstering too.
Dude, they're doing a good job. Lana and Asuka on there, and SmackDown's roster is really fucking good right now for the women.
Because I'm enjoying what they're doing with the women right now, with the 6 women involved right now. I'm enjoying what they're doing right now with the coalition against Natty and or the New Lynch Order, as Becky Lynch called them. I'm enjoying what they're doing with the women,
the only thing I don't like about that right now is the fact that Tamina's in that group.
Yeah,
because it's supposed to be like the veterans of SmackDown, and we're fighting for what's right for all these new people. And Tamina got to SmackDown 60 seconds before Charlotte did. And
I mean, at least she's a veteran though. She's been there for a long time.
Yeah, a veteran that was out for a year and a half.
Matt, you and your logic again. Come on, we've talked about this.
Having logic.
I know.
What is logic? Vince McMahon doesn't know this word.
Monday Night Raw this week starts with all women in the ring, and you realize, wow, there's a lot of women on the Raw roster now. I thought the segment with basically Alexa Bliss roasting the women of the Raw roster was brilliant. The old pedestal thing, and purposely leaving out talking about Bayley. I thought all of it was great. I thought it was a great, different start to open Raw. Matt, what were your thoughts on the women opening Raw tonight?
They gave them 30 minutes to start the show between the segment and the match, and I thought it was great. Anytime you get to showcase the entire division like that, I think is a good thing. I wish Summer Rae would have been involved. I know that I know she was there at the show.
She was there.
Maybe she's still recovering from her injury, and I just think she.
Don't make me sing the theme song, Trevor.
I just don't think Summer Rae's gotten a fair shake on the main roster so far. I love Summer Rae in NXT.
She showed improvement before her injury.
Yeah, sure. I loved Summer in NXT, and I've always just been very disappointed with how they've used her since she's been on the main roster.
Yeah, exactly. Every time I think of Summer Rae, and I always go back to Fandango and how Eva Marie thought she could be the one to dance with him and horribly flopped. Oops. After we go to break, after that opening segment, we hear the music of Shinsuke Nakamura, and how badass is it that they are basically hyping Backlash around Nakamura. That is just fucking awesome.
Can I just say how terrified I was of that video promo the first time I saw it? Because
you thought he was going to Raw?
The first time it aired, they aired it on Payback, and everything about Nakamura was in all the slashes were in red, and I'm like, oh my god, they're already taking him away from SmackDown and they're moving him to Raw. And when they did the thing at the end for Backlash, I'm like, oh my, thank God this was a Backlash promo, because I was petrified that Nakamura was going to Raw already. So I really feel like they would have done the promo would have been better if all the slashes would have been blue to go with the Backlash logo.
Would have saved some minutes on your life,
dude. I was scared. I was scared. I'm not even gonna lie. I figured maybe after that segment bomb with him and Ziggler, they were like, you know what, let's just move him to Raw. So I'm really glad that didn't happen.
Did you think that bombed? I didn't think it bombed.
Oh, Ziggler was awful in that, dude. It was terrible. It wasn't good. And
this week or last week?
Last week, Nakamura at the in-ring interview with Ziggler, where he called him Michael Jackson.
Oh, I didn't think it was that
terrible. Jabber, you got me on this, right?
It wasn't good.
Yeah, it wasn't good, dude. It was like to me, Dolph Ziggler showed on a live mic why he's not a main event guy with the company. Because he needed to carry that segment and he fell flat on his face. He was terrible. It wasn't good. And like I said, it was so bad. Like legit when that promo started, I'm like, oh my god, they're moving Nakamura to Monday Night Raw. So that's how bad I thought that segment was. To the fact that when that first started airing, I thought they were moving him.
Well, I didn't think it was the highlight of the night or anything, but I didn't think it was terrible at all either.
Well, let's hope that Dolph Ziggler's stand-up career isn't the same as what he was saying.
Oh, yeah, dude, yeah, because if that's his best material, I don't want to see his stand-up work.
Kind of like when Flo Rida got challenged to a rap battle.
Bo Rida.
And got jobbed on national television to Bo Rida. Yes. 8-woman tag match. Bayley, Mickie James, Sasha Banks, Dana Brooke take on Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, Emma, and Alicia Fox. Very good opening 8-woman tag. Sometimes 8-women tags are rushed and complete fuckery, but they gave the women here a lot of time, 13 minutes to be exact, and good stuff there. Bliss gouging the eyes.
I have breaking news.
Uh-oh. What do you got?
Mark Henry just showed up at the halftime of the Spurs-Rockets game and beat the crap out of the Rockets mascot with a steel chair.
Somebody's going to get their ass kicked.
They played his entrance music as he did it.
Yes.
So I am actually going to retweet this right now on the Lost in the Midcard page and on mine. So if anybody wants to see Mark Henry beat the shit out of the Houston Rockets mascot with a steel chair, I just hooked y'all up. So who says we can't break news while we're live?
We've done it enough times.
And I do want to point out something in the women's tag match is that Dana Brooke didn't look bad in this one.
Dana Brooke, to me, Dana Brooke gets better every time she's in the ring.
Yeah, I think she's getting better.
But last week was that was not pretty last week.
Yeah, but I mean, she was there with,
and she worked with somebody like a foot taller than her.
Yeah, and she was like, I think if she works with someone better, she'll get better. And I think in the tag match, she actually had some moments that looked really good. Like, I honestly, I don't remember a ton of the inner workings of the tag match, but I remember thinking that, hey, Dana Brooke doesn't look too bad in this match. So I just wanted to point that out.
No, I'm glad you did, because I forgot, but I absolutely agree with you. I thought she looked good in that match, and I think I really and truly believe that she looks better each and every week that she steps into that ring. The Alicia Fox match aside, I think she's shown tremendous improvement since coming up to the main roster. Like, I didn't think she was ready when they brought her up, and Emma immediately getting hurt afterwards didn't do her any favors. But she's really, she's really becoming comfortable with her own skin now. And she's obviously putting in the work and getting better. And, I'm really happy for her because that girl bust her ass. And, it's nice to see when it finally just starts to click and, they just start getting better each and every time. And I feel like that's what Dana Brooke's doing right now.
Yeah, and we said it all along on the show when she was in NXT. We were enjoying what she's doing. And then when she gets called up, we're like, what? She's not ready. And there's been moments where she's never not ready, but at least she gets a constant chance to improve on live television each week, so it's a good thing. I thought in a one-on-one match, I thought Enzo looked pretty decent here as well. He took on Luke Gallows, obviously.
This might have been Enzo's best match ever.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Enzo looked great as a singles competitor here, and
Gallows made him look really good.
Because Enzo might have to be a singles competitor eventually. Vince has got that.
Oh, he definitely will have to, because I'm sure Big Cass will get some sort of rocket strapped to him at some point.
Yeah. Props to Enzo. Looked good in that match against Luke Gallows. Got a little promo with Neville and TJP in the back. TJP telling Neville what all the people are saying about him. And Neville says, tread carefully. Don't slander the name of the king. Seth Rollins comes out. They were hyping up before this what Seth Rollins is going to announce what his next step is going to be. And so Seth Rollins comes out, cuts a promo, and talks about what he's done since returning. And says, there's only one thing left to do. I want the Beast. The crowd pops and does a yes chant for that. And, well, somebody else said they wanted the Beast the night prior, and that guy's name was Finn Balor. And his music hit. And Balor comes down to the ring and tells Rollins that he is the one-legged man that won WrestleMania. But Balor says, I'm the one-armed man that became the first Universal Champion. Ooh. Tension fills the room. Dean Ambrose comes out to lighten the tension, and says that we're all talking about Lesnar, but Lesnar fights when he wants to fight, and he's like, well, I'm here and I like to fight, so let's fight. And then the Miz comes out and talks about how Rollins and Balor haven't earned jack shit. The Miz is the deserving Intercontinental Champion. Ambrose is an embarrassment to the title. And this apparently Ambrose had Kurt Angle's number in his phone, so he called Kurt Angle and said, hey, what do you think about this idea? And Kurt Angle said, yes, we're going to have a triple threat for the number one contendership to main event Raw between Miz, Finn Balor. Seth Rollins, the winner, will get Dean Ambrose. They followed up on Kalisto, who's suffering from hip and cervical trauma. He's lucky that's all he's suffering from after Braun Strowman beat the shit out of him.
And threw him down that long, large stage where he fell like a foot.
And the
he wasn't even in the dumpster.
How would you?
How do you know, Matt? He fell like a foot down the side of that ramp.
Is there like a trap door where he gets
a lot of those
ring?
Dumpsters actually have an open sliding hole in the front of them with a like you could like put a lock on it.
So he kind of popped under the ring.
And yeah, in the part that was facing the ring. So when he put him in there.
But wait a second, he's in the dumpster when they open it back up though.
They never showed you that. They went to a commercial.
I thought they showed check it on Kalisto after that.
Yes, after they came back from commercial break, he was already out.
Well, they probably but I guess then.
Yeah, exactly.
Turn off the light. They could turn off the lights, put them back in.
Yeah, he was never in that dumpster. Well, he was in there for like a minute, and he slid out of probably because you go back and watch the tape. You never see the front of that dumpster in any angle on the entire show. The front part of the dumpster that was facing like the ring apron. I guarantee they threw him in there. They shut the lid. He opened the slide thing and went under the ring, and that's all.
Well, it's just like when Strowman threw the gurney out. I mean, yeah, Reigns would have died if he was on that gurney.
Yeah, exactly. Roman wasn't on that either. That was really well done camera work, though.
Oh, that was good editing. That was good editing there. Yeah, that was good. 6-man tag match from the 205 Live crowd. Nice, Kendrick, and Dar take on Tozawa, Swan, and Gallagher. Pretty entertaining and lengthy 6-man tag match. Good to see that they got over 10 minutes on this one. The good guys get the win there. I'm very glad that Vince or somebody close to Vince is listening to Lost the Midcard when we were saying how the 205 Live guys were getting the Divas treatment, 3-minute matches, and they've kind of fixed that ever since.
Look, you're not going to encourage people to tune into your product on Tuesday nights by showing someone a 2-minute match.
Mm-mm.
This is the kind of action you can see on Tuesday nights. Oh, really? I'll pass. You have to show them a reason why to tune in on Tuesday.
So it's the most exciting hour on television. Does that mean is it because there's 20 matches in that hour? They're all 3 minutes long. There's 20 matches.
Well, the way Raw used to run their matches, you would certainly think that.
Yeah, no shit. Trevor, what did you think of the follow up to the payback to the payback with the Hardys, Cesaro, and Sheamus on Monday?
It worked.
I think I said this earlier. I think this is my favorite feud right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think they basically got over what they needed to accomplish. I mean, they're obviously that's going to continue. I see Sheamus and Cesaro winning the tag team turmoil next week.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
And it might even give you that hope spot of Goldust and R-Truth making it to the end, and then out comes Sheamus and Cesaro.
And here comes the Wyatt family. Oops.
But I doubt they'll give them that much credit. R-Truth and Goldust will probably be the first out.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't barely seen them since this year at all.
We've barely seen them since Raw's come to Monday nights.
Charlie Caruso interviews The Miz and Maurice before Dean takes over and decides to do his own little interview. I thought that was kind of funny, especially when he says, "Gene and Bobby, back to you at ringside." We hear the great music of Heath Slater and Rhino. Finally, we get a match with these guys. Actually, it's just Heath Slater with Rhino as he takes on Apollo Crews with Titus O'Neil. What do you hate more, Matt? The Maharaja or the Titus brand?
Oh, the Titus brand. It's not even close.
You mean the black hole of Raw? The Titus brand?
Hey.
And I didn't mean it that way. I mean
hey, hold on, playa.
I just mean that it like sucks up like anything good and makes it bad.
I think I actually tweeted on Monday that my eyes immediately glaze over anytime Titus O'Neil shows up on my television screen.
Oh, I literally fast forwarded through this, so I don't really know.
Though Rhino photobombing the selfie was pretty funny, though. Did you guys see that picture?
Yes,
that was good. That was the only good part of the whole thing.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Cruz beat Slater in 3 minutes.
Hey guys, we're gonna make you care about Cruz this time by putting him with Titus O'Neil.
That'll put butts in the seats.
Yeah, I don't think nobody cares. Sorry, like I mean, Titus O'Neil seems like a legit good dude, and when he's not being a wrestler in the ring, but man, I don't care one bit.
No, I like Titus. I like the person that he is.
Yeah.
I like the primetime players. They never should have broke them up.
Agreed.
Kurt Angle comes out to a nice big ovation. Says the Strowman and Reigns match was the most physical match he's ever seen because the WWE writers like to use hyperbole the night after a pay-per-view. He mentioned that Reigns re-injured his ribs, had other internal injuries. No word on anal bleeding, though. Angle said Strowman tore his rotator cuff when he tackled the ambulance door. And Angle said, I know.
Here's my biggest issue with it.
He's on the European tour.
No, my biggest issue with it is they chose the wrong injury to say that he got.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because like so many guys have gone out with a torn rotator cuff over the last 2 to 3 years. They're out for 7 months.
Yeah.
So that was the wrong injury to say that he got because it's clear he's going to be wrestling in Extreme Rules in a few weeks.
And he was posing for pictures with Roman Reigns even in Europe. So
yeah, Titus O'Neil got in trouble for that.
Oh.
Yeah, Titus O'Neil posted that photo and he had to take it down.
Titus.
So, once again, Titus O'Neil has heat.
Titus O'Neil is his own worst enemy.
Grabbing the arm of life right now. That kind of sounded just like it. Angle said it is clear that these gentlemen are not done with each other. He is talking to WWE officials about the situation. We'll have some answers later, and then enters Bray Wyatt. Wyatt makes his entrance to the ring. Angle still in the ring, and Bray introduces himself and extends his hand. Angle shook hands with Bray Wyatt. Wyatt says that he told Angle he means no harm. He is the savior because he closed the chapter of Randy Orton. And wanted to start something new on Raw as he is now reborn. He knew what was wrong with people and he can fix us. He told Angle that Angle needs Wyatt. Wyatt asks Angle, are you going to allow me to do my work? And obviously he wasn't really clear with that question. And Angle says, not much. Doesn't know what to say to it and doesn't know what he has planned. But Wyatt said, wants to know if Angle's on by his side or stand in his way. But Angle tells him that it is his show. Wyatt says, maybe your show, but I is my world. I thought it was a nice exchange between two characters that we've never seen in exchange from. Trevor, what were your thoughts on that? Maybe it'd help if Bray Wyatt won more than 30% of his matches in his career, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on where they go with it. So,
I honestly just thought it was funny that Kurt stared at him looking like Bray Wyatt was on drugs the entire time. I thought that was the best part of the whole segment. Angle, if you go back and watch Angle's facial reactions to Bray's promo, it's hysterical.
Oh, we talked about this while you were stepping away. Did you catch the T-Mac Table for 3 yet?
I did.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I love Table for 3. I thought that one was great, and the one with Styles, Nash, and HBK was really good too.
Yeah, I still got to watch that one yet. I haven't seen that one yet, but I watched the T-Mac one today. Austin Aries, TJ Perkins, they put on a nice classic for the Cruiserweight division. They were given over 10 minutes as well. I thought this was a phenomenal match, and I mean, hell, they're giving the Cruiserweights 20 minutes of in-ring time. That's
for a 3-hour show, heaven forbid.
I know. I'm asking a lot, man. I'm asking a lot. In the end, Aries puts on the last chancery with a pretty sweet counter to TJP's detonation kick and makes TJP tap out. But a great match between those two guys. Good stuff there. Great stuff working on the leg. TJP working on the leg and the knee. And then, of course, after the match, attacks Aries and puts him in that famous knee bar submission. So good stuff from TJP. I'm liking his heel work here. Finn Balor's walking backstage. Dean Ambrose is still interviewing people and asked him a question and then said, why don't you eat a carb or something? And gave him a donut. And Balor took a bite of the donut and left. And the great part of that was Balor posted on Twitter that clip and goes, that donut was too sweet. And then my guy, the Drifter, shows up with a guitar. And Ambrose asked him if he knew any Pearl Jam. I'm probably the only one laughing.
I want to say, for you, JB, you're gonna be proud of me.
You liked you laughed.
I enjoyed the Drifter segments on Raw.
You enjoyed all of them so far.
I've enjoyed all of them. There's something about the way that they're presenting him on the main roster that I find funny and enjoyable that they weren't doing on NXT. And yeah, I just couldn't stand the character on NXT, the shit though, and the slow build and the way they're introducing him on Raw, I find to be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, and my mind exploded when my favorite Dean Ambrose was in the same camera frame as the Drifter. I think
your mind exploded one too many times on Raw Monday. 'Cause I remember you saying how many times you were flipping out over the collection of people on the screen at the same time, and I was like, "Calm down, baby, calm down."
Goldust talking to Kurt Angle.
Why?
Pitching a title shot against the Hardys for some reason. I was like, yeah, you guys have earned it, right? No. Angle basically said your win-loss record doesn't earn you a title shot. Oh, burn!
He basically said you guys are losers. No.
But it's the truth.
I wish Kurt Angle would have been on SmackDown to tell Jinder Mahal that. You haven't won a match since September, Jinder. You want to be in the #1 contenders match? Get out of here.
But it's the land of opportunity.
Kurt Angle runs.
Maharaja.
You would never have Jinder Mahal in a #1 contendership match.
Yeah. Angle, out of this segment, said there will be a tag team turmoil match next week. The winner gets to face the Hardys at Extreme Rules. Well, I don't know if it's Extreme Rules.
Yeah, he didn't specify. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going.
Is that in Baltimore?
Yeah, it's in Baltimore, but like 2 weeks later, we're getting NXT again.
Yeah.
So there's tickets go on sale on Friday, but
taping or a road show?
Just a house show. Cool. Like they did last year, but I mean, me and Daryl, me and Daryl are going back to see NXT again because they were great when they were here last year. I think the main event last year was Nakamura and Ty against Rude. No, and it wasn't Rude. It was Samoa Joe and who was Joe's tag partner? Because Rude fought Cedric Alexander that night, and that match was fucking dope. I'm trying to remember who Joe's tag team partner was last year. Who would have been the tag partner in that in 1 year ago NXT heel land?
So I was trying to think, but I can't. The name escapes me at this moment.
I'm totally blanking on who Joe's partner was, but I mean, I really enjoyed the show. I thought it was great. Maybe no. Was it Aries?
No, because Aries was never a heel at NXT, was he?
Oh, no, he was totally a heel.
Yeah.
Was he on NXT? Because he faced Corbin.
Yeah, he started off as a babyface, but the crowd hated him down in Orlando, and they turned him heel. I can't remember who his partner was, but I mean, I really enjoyed the show, and I mean, we won't get...
Wouldn't have been Andrade, would it?
No, it wasn't Andrade. I know we won't get Nakamura this time around, but I know that
you'll get a Hideo.
Yeah,
probably get some KO.
You mean Ono?
Yeah, some KO, man.
No.
Cassius Ono.
Oh no! Yeah, it should be a great show. I love NXT Live. Like, I haven't been to a quote unquote WWE event since WrestleMania weekend in Dallas, like the Raw. I think was the last WWE branded show I've attended. But I've gone to ROH and Indies, and I went to NXT last year, and I'm going to go to NXT again since they're coming around again in June. But WWE to me, they just you're giving me Extreme Rules within driving distance of me 2 weeks before the show, and I'm going to NXT instead. I mean, I don't know what else that says to you, other than that your product is it's lacking right now. I'd rather just watch it at home.
They recap Kurt Angle saying goodbye to Chris Jericho after Payback, but they cut out the best part of that when Mike Tom and Tom Mike showed up, and both of them made the list, and Jericho finally figured it out that they're clones. I loved that clip. That was Angle could barely keep it straight when Jericho was doing his thing with Mike Rome and Tom Phillips. I loved it. So check the WWE YouTube for post Payback videos, and you'll see that goodbye little thing between Angle and Jericho, and then Mike and Tom both show up at the same. Well, actually, Mike shows up first, and then Tom shows up later. Both one holding a Raw microphone, the other holding a SmackDown microphone. It was pretty funny. So go check that out. Main event time, Monday Night Raw. Holy shit, this was a great match. Probably one of the best televised matches of the year. The fatal or the triple threat between Miz, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins. Amazing stuff within these guys. They got over 20 minutes for the main event. But in the end, new feuds kind of dominated the end. Well, one old feud and one new feud, as Samoa Joe showed up
and one really old
Rollins.
feud.
Yeah, dropped Rollins with a brutal Uranagi on the floor, and then out of nowhere, Bray Wyatt shows up and shoves Balor off the top rope. Wyatt hits Sister Abigail on Finn, and then that allows Miz to crawl over onto Balor and get the 1-2-3. So the Miz is now your new number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship, the main title on Raw right now. And Matt, what were your thoughts on the main event of Raw tonight, or this week?
I love the main event of Raw. I love the fact that we have three, quote-unquote main event feuds coming out of Raw, out of this match. My only issue with this is, and I've said this already since the shakeup happened, the shakeup was designed to give us new feuds and new interactions with people.
Yeah.
And I've seen Dean versus Miz done to death on SmackDown already. And I knew he was going to win because he was the only heel in the match going in. So, I mean, it's not like the booking was surprising, but it's just, oh my God, I'm done with Miz versus Dean. And I just wish there would have been another heel in Miz's spot that would have won this match.
Yeah, I mean, part of me thought, oh, maybe Rollins will win because they did all this hyping up of what his next step is. But, I mean, we've seen Dean and Seth done to death. Put the Shield reunion together this fall, for God's sake, please. I would have loved Balor to win this, though I'm still mysterious as to why he's not going for the Universal title. Well, then I realize, it's not being defended until the balls get greatly on fire. So, I would have loved to see a Balor Ambrose match.
Well, it's rumored that the Brock's defense at that pay-per-view is going to be against Braun Strowman,
which I want to see.
So
and I hopefully Braun wins. Fuck it. You know?
I'd like Braun to win, but he ain't going to win.
No.
To me, I would be thrilled with that. Let him, because yes, he's an unstoppable monster, but at least he's on television every week.
Yeah,
and doing a damn good job.
Yeah,
too.
so I wouldn't mind Braun beating Brock in July. I would be totally okay with that. I just don't think they're going to do it.
And I bet the crowd is probably going to be behind him too, because I mean, Brock took a 3-month hiatus with the fucking title.
Yeah, I definitely think the crowd's going to be behind Braun in that fight. I think Brock's not going to get the reception that they're thinking he's going to get when he comes back to television. I think people are kind of sick of this.
Yep, because it happened when he won it last time. I liked the Miz and Ambrose feud. I mean, it was good.
But it was so recent.
But still a hell of a triple threat match, though. And Trevor, what were your thoughts at the end of Raw?
I don't have any new thoughts.
No new thoughts.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
Trevor.
all the same as what Matt said, pretty much.
Matt, just stealing the gimmicks.
I didn't mean to.
I'm kidding. 205 Live this week was awesome, as always. TJ Perkins, TJP, I gotta say TJP now. WWE's gonna find me otherwise. Took on Lindsay Dorado. I don't know. Is Lindsay just not there full time, and that's why we don't? Get much
He's
of a push
signed.
with him?
I don't know what they're doing with him.
I figured he'd be one of the first guys they.
Because one of the first. Well, he was late getting on 205 Live because he was finishing up his dates in Mexico. But he's there now, so I mean, I don't understand why he's not in a better position right now. Because I mean, the dude was in the finals of the fucking tournament, for crying out loud. So.
Nah, Grand Metalik.
Oh, Grand Metalik. You know, right? You're totally right. I totally just got that backwards like a dummy.
But Lindsay's good at promos, and
Lindsay's
it is
good.
amazing, and he's amazing in the ring. I figured he'd be one of the first guys pushed, but
I still think Grand Metalik needs to be pushed.
Yeah.
You know,
is he kind of in the same situation where he had some things to finish up?
Yeah, they both did. And that's why I got their names mixed up. But to me, it's just baffling that neither of those guys are really getting any type of push on that brand.
There wasn't a bad match on the card here on 205 Live. TJ Perkins does some dirty deeds by messing with the mask of Dorado, and then he uses that advantage to put on the knee bar to make Lindsay tap out. Here's something I hope they do more often. I loved the sit-down interview with Brian Kendrick and Corey Graves. They need to do that more often with these guys. And it was even better when, out of nowhere, Tozawa just kicks the shit out of Kendrick and sits down to finish the interview. I loved that. Tozawa is doing a lot more than I thought he would do in 205 Live, and I'm loving it, man. I just think Tozawa's just... He's kicking some ass right now. I'm enjoying it. What'd you think of the Do you think they should do more of those type of things with Corey sitting down with these guys?
No, I don't mind. I mean, it helps to flesh out the character, allow people to understand who they are and why they are doing things. That's why I love the like I haven't seen part 2 yet tonight. I'm gonna watch NXT when we finish recording here. But the Roderick Strong, who was Roderick Strong, like part 1, was fucking phenomenal.
It was. We talked about that.
To me, when you have a 3-hour show in Raw, you can dedicate 5 to 6 minutes to segments like this to help flesh out characters, and humanize them with the audience to give people a reason to care. Like the fact that this stuff can be done on hour editions of NXT, but they don't do it on the main roster on programs on Monday nights absolutely blows my mind. Like, I really don't understand it at all.
Tozawa tells Corey Graves that this was lesson number 5. Always make an impact.
Always end interviews with an impact.
Ah! What do you think of Drew Gulak's new little gimmick, the no-fly zone and such? I enjoy it. I think it's cool. It's something for Drew.
Whatever. I don't care.
His music sounds like 90s porn, but hey, he got a win though.
I was shocked.
Gulak has been the doormat of 205 Live since its inception. I think this is around the 22nd or 23rd episode of 205 Live. Gulak has been the doormat, but gets a win in his ongoing feud with Mustafa Ali. Another great match there, of course. Mustafa, one of those kind of surprise Impact guys from 205 Live that you wouldn't expect. I mean, he got beat. I think Lindsay Dorado beat him in the first round, if I remember right. And Matt, the main event, Noam Dar, Rich Swann. Man, was this good! I absolutely love. This is probably one of my favorite 205 Live matches of the year. I thought these guys did a hell of a job, just with everything in the match. And Matt, the couple's back together.
I feel like we didn't watch the same match.
You didn't like it?
I won't say I didn't like it. I thought it was fine. I've seen much better main events on 205 Live this year than that. I feel like we watched different matches. I really do.
I love this match. I don't know.
I've just seen so many phenomenal main events on 205 Live this year that I didn't feel this compared to any of them.
So Foxy is back with Noam Dar. So once again, we can hear Noam say Alicia Fox. SmackDown Live this week.
This tweak
was brought to you by X-Pac. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Wait a minute. Shane McMahon introduces the new acquisition of SmackDown Live, the United States Champion Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho says this is the show of Jericho. Drink it in, man. And Shane informs us that Jericho will defend the title against KO later in the show. Gee, what's going to happen there? AJ Styles comes out, talks about how his old friend turned into a better enemy, but a lot of things have changed. And now Jericho is in the house that AJ Styles built. He even briefly mentioned the Y2AJ shirts. Did they ever sell those on the shop?
Yes.
Yeah.
For like a week.
Well, yeah, because that's about how long the friendship lasted. Jay and Styles says he's going to take the title from Jericho at Backlash if Jericho's champion at the end of the night. We all know better. Jericho notes that he made Kevin Owens tap out at Payback, and there's a new face of America, Chris Jericho be thy name. And Jericho goes, you know what happens? To Styles, you know what happens when you don't think Jericho can beat Owens? You know what happens? He clicks the pin, and KO's music comes out. KO, pissed as all to hell. And you notice one thing about KO? He always walks around his face on the ramp. Just a little tidbit for you there. Fans chanting, "You tapped out" at Owens. And he says he's going to take back the United States Championship. He told Styles to get the hell out of his ring. Well, so Styles did, and then he started a fight with Owens, which had to be broken up by the referees. Great segment there with those three guys. Well, like Matt, like you said, they're doing much more with the United States title than they're doing with the world title right now.
You ain't lying.
Jinder Mahal took on Sami Zayn. And they went about 11 minutes on this match. And to nobody's surprise, the Singh brothers get involved and cost Sami Zayn the match when Mahal hits the Cobra Clutch Slam. And Trevor, what did you think out of this Jinder Mahal Sami Zayn match on SmackDown?
I didn't think it was bad. It was good.
You think he can get a good Orton can get a good match out of him at Backlash?
I think so. I think Orton does a very good job of getting matches out of people you might not expect. I think Orton can do that. I mean, it depends on what Orton you get, because sometimes Orton can just be like, fuck it, I'm Orton, and not have a great match. But I think it all depends on.
I'm Orton.
I mean, you know what I mean, though, right?
I know, I do. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, so
just don't drop Orton on his neck, or you'll be Ken Kennedy'd.
Pretty much. I mean, I think it could be it could end up being a really good match, and I actually like what they're doing with Jinder. They're actually building him up, which is what they needed to do. Maybe they should have built him up a bit before actually giving him the title shot. But hey,
that's where my main issue lies.
Yeah. See, yeah, I was like, what the fuck when he won the match, but ever since that number one contenders match, I've liked everything Jinder's done since then. So I'm on board here.
I think there's a lot of potential upside to Jinder if they keep playing it right.
You make a good point with the JBL thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll ever
JBL
get to that point.
made the same point on SmackDown.
He did.
So it can happen.
Lest we forget, 5 years ago, it was him and Seth Rollins for the NXT Championship, so people have seen something in him before. It's just...
right.
But obviously, Mahal's worked his ass off to this point, and to get to this point, so it's paid off, obviously. People are talking about him, so... the group, the new ladies group, of Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina backstage with James Ellsworth. Becky Lynch walks up to them and calling them four ladies. Sorry, James. And Natalya trying to get Becky onto their side, and Becky says she'll think about it. So kind of making you think, what is Becky going to do here? They show Ty Dillinger walking in the ring and another promo for Nakamura for Backlash. Dolph Ziggler was watching that promo of Nakamura and was talking to some random people backstage. I don't even know who the hell they were.
They can gotta be local indie talents.
Yeah, and he started talking shit about Shane McMahon, and oh look, Shane's right behind his back, and Shane punishes Ziggler by putting him in a match with Sin Cara. As I try to keep a straight face, saying that.
He didn't really punish him. Ziggler just told Shane, "Oh, look what's going to happen to Sin Cara tonight. Don't want to be that guy." Shane didn't even put him in the match. I guess the match was already scheduled.
Aiden English in the ring doing his Drama King gimmick. I kind of digging it. I'd like to see where they go with it.
Speaking of drama,
going nowhere with it.
He's going straight to the Titus brand with it. He's interrupted by Ty Dillinger, and Dillinger hit the tiebreaker after about a minute. And after the match, Aiden English starts freaking out, and later on he's walks by Jericho, who's being interviewed by Renee Young, and starts crying, and Jericho says, "There's no crying on SmackDown." And Jericho says, "There's no need to cry. You're a good-looking man with a hairy chest." And Jericho says, "You know what happens when you cry on Jericho's new show? You know what happens? You just made the list!" And then he put Ronnie on the list too. I mean, Renee. And Aiden cried some more.
Yeah, I guess they're taking his Twitter handle Drama King to a whole new level.
Oh boy. I thought it was funny, at least.
I mean, at least the
It'll
guy's
probably-
getting TV time.
And it'll probably get old quick, but at least it was funny with him and Jericho. So, Dasha Fuentes talked to Charlotte about the welcoming committee, and she says you can't stop the inevitable because you will not be able to stop the Queen on SmackDown Live. That's when those welcoming committee ladies showed up and beat up Charlotte and left her on the ground. Are they? You think they're full blown turning Charlotte face here, Matt?
Yes.
Or, well, she gets a reaction from the crowd, so. Plus, it evens out the 6 women that are there now.
It also
so.
gets her out of the title picture because they need Naomi to be a face and look strong. So I don't think they want to have her beat Charlotte, which is really what she should have done before the attack.
Yeah.
But I mean, they do want Naomi to look strong, and that this is what they have to do. I mean, I think they have to make Charlotte a face, so it's not directly going to be Naomi versus Charlotte. It's going to be Naomi versus Natty or Carmella, you know.
And they built the sympathy angle for Charlotte up well because the crowd popped for Charlotte when she came out in the tag match. So obviously, whatever they did, they executed it well. Because the crowd's already behind Charlotte, which isn't hard to do with her pedigree and her work, plus being the daughter of Ric Flair, and so she limped out in the middle of the match, which we thought was going to be a handicap match with Naomi against Carmella and Natalya, but it turned out that Charlotte came out. But in the end, Ellsworth with the distraction, and we get the roll up, and Carmella and Natty get the win. With Carmella hyping up how she pinned the champ on Talking Smack, do we expect her to be the next one in line then for Naomi? You guys think?
I could see that.
Her or Natty, I guess. It ain't gonna be Tamina.
There's a beatdown with the heels on Charlotte and Naomi when Becky Lynch's music hit, and Becky did the tease. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? But it's kind of hard seeing Becky Lynch be a heel. She took the side of the good girls and helped clear the ring. But I still liked the segment there.
Oh, she didn't.
Yeah.
She got beat down too, and they left the ball laying.
Oh, my bad.
Geez, JP, did you even watch the same match as we did?
Man, I might not have. I might have watched
JB's alternate reality where Becky Lynch was the conquering hero and sent the heels packing.
Yeah. My bad. Video aired for the New Day, hyping their return to SmackDown whenever Kofi's ready. I don't know. You guys heard a timetable?
I have not heard the Kofi timetable yet.
Mm.
I have heard that Woods and Big E are loving their time. I have heard that.
What's that, Matt?
I have heard that Woods and Big E are loving their time off.
I know Big E's loving that Great Balls of Fire and wishing he was on Raw.
No, he's really not.
I know he's not. And they noted how a guy named Xavier Woods was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL. That was kind of funny. Xavier put a tweet out when that happened too. What do you think of Sin Cara's new ring gear there, Trevor?
It looked pretty cool.
I thought that was pretty.
Didn't help him win a match though, did it?
Not much can.
I hated the shirt. I thought the shirt was just way too much. It was overall very, very distracting. Throughout the entire match, I think you would have been better off without the shirt. I thought the pants and the mask color scheme looked cool, but the shirt, I didn't like the shirt.
Match went 4 minutes. Ziggler hits a super kick for the win there. Pretty cool power spot though, but Sin Cara, he's done that before. We're picking the guy up from a deadlift. That's pretty impressive stuff there. But we all knew Ziggler was going to get the win there. Probably taking on Nakamura at Backlash. Not officially named yet, but it's going to happen. Matt, what'd you think about the fashion files from Breezango?
Cannot wait till we got to talk about this. This was easily my favorite thing on the show.
Yes, thank you.
This was absolutely fantastic.
I was afraid you were gonna hate it.
No, I left the room because they said the main event was up next, so I didn't think I was gonna miss anything. So I left the room to go do some stuff, and I heard laughing coming from the living room. And I went and talked to my roommate afterwards. I'm like, what did I miss? And I'm like, oh, Breezango segment, it was great. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it was. But I went back and watched it on the DVR afterwards. And it was great. They need to do this stuff every week. I hope Absolutely. They filmed a whole bunch of segments in wherever they made this little mock-up office with the picture of the fucking big boss man in the background. Yeah, dude, it was absolutely phenomenal. This is the best thing Breezango's done since they've become a tag team, and I really want them to continue it. I thought to me, it was the best thing on the show.
This is my theory. My theory is that when they did Southpaw Regional Wrestling with John Cena saw how funny those guys were, and that's why they're now getting a push on SmackDown.
I'm cool with that.
That's my theory. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but
yeah, Trevor brought that up last week too. Because he said they had a segment, in the ring with Nikki and John before.
That's true. So. That's a really good point. You know what? I think you're onto something, Trevor.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
And for Simpsons fans, they called Chicago the Windy Apple, by the way. And one of my favorite parts at the end, a guy on the radio telling him there's a guy walking around downtown with socks and flip-flops. Oh, we're on the case. Good stuff. I had a good feeling the face turn of Breezango was going to be good, and so far, great stuff. Great stuff. Jericho and Owens, again, this just like Backlash, just like Payback, this speaks for itself. These guys, they know how to put on a hell of a good match, and they did. Of course, what the big story was, of course, we all know Kevin Owens was getting the title back. The big story was after the match, Kevin almost kind of acting like, okay, all right, we've done battling. I'm gonna help you back up and shake your hand. It made you think that for a couple seconds, but then drops Jericho with a pop-up powerbomb. He ain't done yet. He puts a chair around Jericho's neck and throws him into the turnbuckle. Just a brutal beatdown by KO to send Jericho off, as we all know he's going on tour with Fozzy. Matt, what did you think of the end of SmackDown Live this week?
I thought it was good. They had to send him off with an injury. Because to just drop the title and then disappear, wouldn't have made a whole lot of sense. So no, I thought they did the right thing by having KO injure him and send him packing.
And Trevor, how the hell is Jericho going to sing on tour with Fozzy now? When he just had a chair lodged down his throat.
I guess Rich Ward is going to have to take over vocal duty.
Okay.
I heard Moon Goose McQueen would step in until Jericho was good to go.
That makes sense.
Hopefully we get Jericho back soon. I have a feeling this is not going to be a long hiatus because this is the hottest Jericho's been in a long time. So, as Matt said earlier, probably a SummerSlam run, maybe a cameo to screw Owens at Money in the Bank. Let's get do it for this edition of Lost in the Midcard. Trevor, thanks again for jumping on with us here.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll have you on again soon, hopefully. And thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. Just do a search for Lost in the Midcard and hit that subscribe button. And that way you know every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Thursday and most Mondays after WWE pay-per-views. You can find us on YouTube as well to subscribe, and those links on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. Get us on the Twitter as well at LITMC Podcast. Trevor is on the Twitter at Trevor Oz. That's Trevor OSZ. Matt's on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. I'm on the Twitter at JB Huskers, so make sure to follow us all there. And before we close up shop tonight, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
I think Brizingo needs their own television show on the WWE Network.
That would be epic. Oh, and one last thing. with the Team X table for 3, that gives us some hope that Angle's going to be on season 2 of the show that totally reeks of awesomeness.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's a no-brainer. He will absolutely be on there.
I can't wait. For Trevor and Matt, this is Jeremy. Thank you for tuning in to Lost to the Midcard. Have yourselves a good week.